Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Young.
I've been jogging for about 12 years. And like every jogger I know, I love to talk about it. I can tell you about the time when I pulled a muscle down in my ankle, and I can tell you when I stumbled and fell and was out for several weeks. And you know, joggers like to brag because we feel because we're jogged, we're disciplined. And I can tell you all sorts of things that it does for me. I can talk about my cardiovascular system. I can talk about the zest that I have for living that perhaps I didn't know before. And joggers have this about them. And there's something else about jogging that if you do not run, you may not know. It takes more and more to give you the same benefit you used to feel. When I first started to jog, I would run for a mile, and I felt real content with running for a mile. I told everybody, I'm running every day for a mile. Well, before long, I began to read something about jogging and discovered that a mile is not enough. You have to run more. So I gradually worked up and struggled till I was running 2 miles. And finally, I worked up to 3 miles. And so that's sort of been my regimen. And if those who read aerobics know anything about jogging, you need to do it 4 or 5 times a week, and you get all your points, and you keep up with all the rigmarole that goes in trying to stay in some sort of physical condition. I was jogging one day, and I remembered a little verse in the Bible that I claimed for a long time as the secret of Christian living, as the genius of abundant life, and to my amazement, I remembered it's a jogging verse. Jesus there in the Sermon on the Mount exploded a hydrogen bomb in the middle of that audience. He startled them with this verse. Whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Now this upset his Jewish audience because there was one little rule the Romans had given them, one little regulation they despised more than anything else. Because when the Roman government would take over a town or a province or region, many times they would put an old yoke over the principal gate of the city. And they required all the leaders to walk under this yoke, signifying they had been conquered by this outside power. And saying that at any time, any citizen of this land would have to go with any Roman soldier for a mile, to carry their pack for a mile, or to lead them for a mile. Now this was a requirement. And the Jews hated oppression, but more than anything else, historians tell us, they hated having to go with these soldiers for that required mile. And therefore every Jewish boy had a mile marker, a mile peg, driven down at every road, every path leading from his house. So this little verse, whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Not just 1 mile, but go 2 miles. In other words, if we are to know the abundant life, said Jesus, as we run through this land together, as we run through this pilgrimage together, we are to do more than is expected or reasonably required for us to do.